딱 숨만큼만.
오늘 하루도 욕심내지 말고 너의 숨만큼만 있다 오라고. 그리고 더 이상 버틸 수 없을 땐 시작했던 물 위로 올라와 숨을 고르라고.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here with me today. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Welcome to Samdal Ri. I honestly waited a little bit to watch this show. I don't know why. I think I just got distracted by everything else. But I finally got a chance to watch this because I just wanted something wholesome and sweet. I had finished watching Tastefully Yours recently, and I was like, look, I want something that's cool and sweet, but also like a little melodramatic, but not too much, a little slice of life. And this came across my feed on Netflix, you know. So the story of Welcome to Samdal Ri is about three sisters that were initially based in Jeju Island. Their family still lives there. They came to Seoul and started pursuing their own careers for one reason or another. Things aren't going so well, and especially the middle sister. It focuses more on the middle sister. Her name is Samdal. And she's a very prominent photographer. She's done really well for herself. And then one day, everything kind of crumbles. Her boyfriend, she learns, is cheating on her with her assistant. And the assistant ends up trying to commit suicide, but blaming her for the emotional abuse and telling all the papers. So basically, Samdal at this point is devastated. Everyone kind of kicks her out of the photography world, and she has nowhere to go, and there's reporters outside of her door. So she decides, and the sisters decide, that this might be the perfect time to go back home just for a little bit and then get some rest, and then they can come back. They're saying they're not failures. They did not return from Seoul back to Jeju Island to their village of Samdal Ri because they failed. No, they're just taking a little bit of a break. And this is kind of where the story starts, where they are trying to understand themselves a little bit. They've kind of forgotten the people they were. The eldest sister, Jindal, who's a side character and has her own side story, is divorced. She's having a hard time finding a job at the airlines because her ex-husband's family, who is extremely wealthy, kind of blacklisted her because she came out and said, exposed them to the world and their the things that they were trying to get for political favors and things like that. So she exposed them, which made her seem very greedy, and made her seem like very greedy, and she was all out for money. So basically blacklisted her on every opportunity they could. So she wants a new start as well, and she's trying to fight that issue. And then there's Samdal, who has the photography stuff going on, and she doesn't want to return to Jeju Island because her ex is there, and that's the main couple. And then the youngest one, she doesn't want to return, and she's a widow. She's very young. She's only 28. She has an 8-year-old daughter they got married, and then her husband passed away when she was pregnant, and then so she's raised the kiddo by herself. So, and she wants a new start. She doesn't really know what to do. Before she got pregnant, she was actually selected to be in the Olympic swimmers almost. So they all have their own issues, and they're gonna come back to Samdal Ri to start to take a break and reevaluate their life. At least that's what we're assuming they're doing. And see what they want to do. And they're very insistent that they are not failures. That's not why they're coming back. They just need a break. And I love that concept. Just the idea that you can come back to where you were, take a breather, and then pursue your dreams again. Kind of like coming home for a little bit to rest and take a breather, so then you can try again one more time. So that's the story of Samdal Ri. Welcome to Samdal Ri. So my favorite part, let's start with the pros. So pros, first thing, I loved the main couple. I thought they were amazing and incredible, and they had obviously it's a K-drama. They're going to have their own problems all the time. But I actually was really impressed by how much I liked the male character. I love the female actor because she's incredible. I love her. But the male actor himself is also awesome, but he does a really good job playing the male character as well. I honestly, before I went into this, I was like, nah, she's gonna steal the show, because she was in Mr. Queen and the main character and stole the show basically. See You in My 19th Life. She's just a great actress, and I feel like, shines everywhere. So I was really impressed by how well the male actor did playing Yong. I've seen him in K2, and then there was something else too that I watched that he did a really good job in. But I haven't seen him in something that's like super serious, super emotional, that requires a lot more love and attention. But I was impressed by his range as well. Even though his character is great and wonderful, I do think he's slightly unrealistic. I wish that the female, because I love her character and I love the actress, I wish she was slightly less of a doormat, because I feel like she seems like someone who's very hot-headed. She's not very it didn't stand true to her character, considering how many people tried to like save her and help her, which is great. I love that they're trying to help her, but I just wish that she herself had more gusto, and took charge of things. Like, for example, when her assistant accuses her of being abusive, and she's very upset and she's afraid, which that part I understand, that she's afraid if somebody was trying to commit suicide because of her. But then you come around and she doesn't even, like, once she realizes that it's not true, and you learn on pretty early that it's not true, I was really surprised that she didn't try to do more and fight that, like, claim, like, no, you did this to me. Like, no, I didn't do anything. There are multiple witnesses and things like that. So I was just really surprised that she didn't fight that. But perhaps it was just because of the story. They needed her to go to Jeju Island. So it wasn't like that deep. But otherwise, in a nutshell, I really liked the main couple, regardless of the shortcomings that they had as a character a little bit. So the other part that I really liked was that there was, yes, technically there's a second lead, but I don't get any second lead syndrome, and you don't really care that much about him. You can tell for Samdal, it's always been Yongpil. It's never the other guy. The other guy doesn't really factor. He's just a friend. She's never seen anyone else besides the main guy as his, like, friend, as her love interest. I don't think they needed a second lead in this scenario because there's so many other things happening. I thought the second lead was just kind of there. I didn't really, like, matter that much, in my opinion. And sometimes I'll be honest, I really like it. Yes, love triangles can be interesting, but sometimes they get a little over the top and you're just like, oh my God. I can have second lead syndrome multiple times throughout, like, K-dramas, but I really do like it when both the male and the female character, or both male or both female characters, are really good. I don't want to have a second lead syndrome. Another thing, I loved the mother. I thought she was incredible. She was, like, one of my favorite characters. The other one is Jindal's ex-husband, surprisingly. I loved the mom. She usually, okay, in a lot of K-dramas, they're kind of not very nice. Either they're very supportive and very, like, unrealistic, or they're very not nice. I had a different word in mind, but it's okay. But the mom in this one is very realistic, but also really supportive in many ways. Like, for example, she's so heartbroken that all her three daughters are back home, not doing so well. They're almost, like, you know, or like almost 40 to like 45-ish or so, and she's just like, what is happening? This is the time they should be doing really well, but she's like, I don't even know what's going on. So her perspective in this story is one of my favorites. She also has that guilt of surviving while her best friend dies, and I think just the actor herself is amazing. You've seen her in so many. If you've watched K-dramas, you know who this is. She's an incredible actress. And I loved her character in this as well. And definitely she brings a lot of things together. And I don't think this show would be the same without her. So, like I mentioned before, the story is about the three main sisters. I'd say about 60% of it or so, 65-ish or so, actually is about Samdal, the middle, and then about 15 or 20% is about the older sister, and the little bit that's left is about the younger sister. I loved the story of Jindal and her ex-husband. I was fully prepared because I really like all of the characters. I really like all of the actors in this show, but I really like her. She's really incredible. A lot of things that I've watched her in, she's been really good as well. So I was fully prepared to like her, and then as you start to realize her story, really dislike her ex-husband. And then the more I watched it, the more I realized how much I liked the husband. He's kind of a coward. Okay, he's not a coward. He's a very non-violent person and a little bit of kind of not the greatest at standing up for himself. So he doesn't really stand up for himself a little. And I was kind of prepared not to like him because she's just so great. You would want someone who's just equally great. But turns out by the end, I actually liked him a lot more than I liked Jindal and the actor does such a good job. They have like such cute chemistry. It's really cute. I love it. And they're just adorable. And she left him. I'm just gonna give you the story because it's fine. But it's so cute. Well, a little sad too. So she left him, and you don't realize that until he's drunk, in great K-drama fashion. She left him saying that he couldn't tolerate living a non-wealthy life because he's always been wealthy. His family's always been wealthy. So she submitted the divorce papers without talking to him or communicating anything. And he admits his mistake. He's like, I should have spoken up more and everything, but he's so devastated and so in love with her. It is so cute. I was really impressed by the actor himself as well and their chemistry, because normally you wouldn't think that they would have really good chemistry and make a really cute couple, but they just make such a cute couple. And I love that he's not like this strong macho guy or someone who always goes and saves her or something like that, but it's the small gestures he does. Or like, for example, he ends up trying to bring a park to Samdal Ri so that his company will compensate the divers so that they wouldn't, and give them a pension so they could retire, so they wouldn't have to do this anymore. And the main reason is that he wants to help the daughters help the mom retire, because the mom is refusing. She's refusing to stop diving, even though she has really bad heart issues, but she's not going to be depending on her family at all. And she's like, no, I'm still young. I can take care of myself. And they're like, please just stop. So it was kind of like a loophole in its own way, but I thought it was really sweet. And then there's like other parts. He's not like I'm gonna fight everyone for you, but it's more like the small ways and like the ways that matter. And I actually really liked him. I thought he was very sweet. I was really surprised by how much I liked it. I was prepared because on IMDb it's at like 7.8, which is like a decent story, but not like amazing either. But I was surprised by how much I liked it. So pleasantly surprised. It wasn't like I was trying to just wait it out and finish it. And it does have 16 episodes, and they're at the very least at least an hour long, if not an hour and 20. So it is a long series. Slightly dragging around episode 13 to like 15. But even then, I still feel like it was really incredible. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I'd give it I'll tell you at the end. Unfortunately, if there's pros, there's going to be usually cons. And one of the biggest thing for me was that a lot of their issues, the internal family relationships, even the Samdal and Yongpil and everyone, like Jindal and the ex-husband and all of that, everything could have been resolved by just talking. It's not like it's this giant thing, but I mean, it's a K-drama. Everything, if everything was solved by being a good communicator, then we'd have like 2 episodes. They have to drag it out a little. The other part, so their biggest hurdle for the main couple is that the father of Yongpil, the man, blames the mother and the family for her wife passing away. And I won't go into the details, but how quickly he flipped after basically asking them to break up and telling them that they shouldn't be together, then he just flipped so quickly. I was really surprised by that, but I mean, eventually he was going to do that anyway, but I was really surprised by that. The thing that I really did like that is that the main couple didn't wait eventually when they got together, they didn't wait for the blessing of the father. I hate it. I hate it when they do that. I hate it when the couples are like, no, we can't be together until our parents give us a blessing or the family's okay with it. I was like, that's fucking stupid. That's just stupid. Some people don't get that. It just doesn't happen. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be together. So I was happy to see that they got together, even if the father wasn't okay with it. Eventually he is, and I'm surprised by how quickly he is, but I still liked that part. So I guess there's another pro that I didn't really think about. Overall, I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think there's just small things that could have done better. It's almost a 9, but it's not an amazing masterpiece that some other things are, but it's a really nice show. I think it's definitely worth watching. I'd definitely watch it again. I'd probably give myself a little bit more time. I was really surprised by how much I liked almost all of the characters. There wasn't really much that I disliked about it. The second lead, as I mentioned, seemed kind of pointless to me. I feel like the main couple already had so many hurdles, and the Samdal just pays no attention to anybody else except the main guy. Like, he had no chance whatsoever. And I guess I just felt like the story didn't do the second lead justice, or like, if anyone was in that situation, I would feel like, just say it, tell them how you feel, and then you can move on. You know realistically you don't really have a shot because she's only got eyes for the other guy. So at the very least, I wish that he had a little bit of a better story, just for the character's sake. I love the friends of Yongpil and Samdal. I love how devoted they are to them. I love their dynamic. I love how close knit the community is. I think that's the issue and the great thing about living in small towns is that everyone knows your business. And the great thing about it is everyone knows your business. So when they do have a problem with you, they show it. But if they're supportive of you, they show that too. They support you. And I guess that it's kind of like what do you want? There's a charm to the small town as well. So, and normally I don't really, having lived in both, I've always had my hesitations with small towns, but it just depends on what you like. So that's it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've watched it, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. I think this is a great show that if you want to just dive in and enjoy it, it is a slow burn. It is definitely a slow burn. You will have to take your time and enjoy every episode, and enjoy everything in it. So if you do end up watching it, let me know in the comments below. If you agree with me, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope to see you for the next time. My name's Devi. Thank you so much for watching this.